Welcome. I'm your host, Jesse Swear, nationally recognized inclusive fitness trainer, Silver Sneaker Flex instructor. Find out more about me, visit my website, www.jesseswear.com. And today I have SilverSneakers Enerchi Flow on the Go, part 3. Part 2, we had a little confusion with some of our transitions. Hopefully I'll be able to fix those on part 3. And if this is the first time taking it, please subscribe to this channel or look at some of the tutorials that I have out there breaking down each form and format before you get started. But you're more than welcome to try to take all these forms and formats with me today, all 14, as you go through working on that continuity of the upper body and lower body with the breath, and making sure that you stay within 60-degree range of motion as you work on different stances and we work on different forms. Our first stance and form is going to be the horse stance, and we're going to go through open the door. So it's a nice inhalation, exhalation. You inhale and you exhale. Now your hands are always around 60-degree range of motion. And the pattern of the movement follows your breath. From this position, we're going to go into a embrace the moon crescent rotation. Stay in that horse stance. We're going to take the right over the left. You can shift your weight or you can stay stationary with this movement. Embrace the moon, reach up and down. Cycle the moon is next, where we transition from here into a cycle of the moon. Bow and arrow stance will eventually come, but this is your L stance. A nice shift. Circle around. Which takes us in to cycle of the moon. As you come back around, arms will drop, back into that horse stance, come up and around. Your circle breath. Which takes us to the L stance next, which I'll shift to my right, pierce the clouds, shift back. Sometimes it helps if I slow it down instead of going so fast. As we make our transition. And again, we're going to go into that L stance. The next one will be open and close. We're going to just pivot and you're going to open and close back into that horse stance. Ascend and descend here. Part in the wild horse's mane goes into your L stance, but in order to get to L stance, we need to go into a cycle of the moon and crescent rotation, so we need to empty out and we need to get back into an L stance. And this is part in your wild horse's mane, which takes us into white crane flashes wings once we get through the other side. But in order to get to the other side, we're going to have to drag the foot back. That crescent moon rotation, that's why it's very important to learn that. And shift. Well, last time I did this, our transitions were not so smooth in this part, so we want to make sure that we get a little smoother transitions as we go into the white crane flashes wings. There you go. Back into your horse stance. And from white crane flashes wings, we're going to go into brush the knee and play the lute. However, we can't get there yet until we transition to the other side. You see that crescent moon rotation flows right into it. We'll do one more through. And then we're going to go into the brush knee and play the lute in a bow and arrow stance. So we're in this position right now, but in order to get to the bow and arrow stance, because we have to go one way or the other, is I'm going to actually shift my weight to my left, because this hand's already out and underneath, so I'm just going to stick it out. And now I'm going to go into the bow and arrow, and I'm going to push and shift. So you're brushing your knee, play that lute. Brush that knee, play that lute. Last one through, brush that knee and play that lute. As you come back, slide it and pop and change. Step, play that lute, brush that knee, play that lute. There you go. Brush that knee, play that lute. And from here, we're going to go into push the mountain. So as you come all the way back, we're in this position, and we're going to go right back into that bow and arrow. And now we're going to do really similar. Push that mountain. And your feet are going to be really in that same type of position. That bow and arrow. And we got to transition to the other side. So as we come back, we're going to just slide on back and shift and back in. And a nice sink, almost like you're sitting, bow and arrow. And then we're going to go into that wave hands like clouds. We'll do it one more time through. Pushing up. And as we stroke and sink back down in those hands, left hand comes out, right hand comes through, and it brings you back into that horse stance with a nice transition there. You can go to traditional Tai Chi, put those hands out and circle through. Wave hands like clouds, which takes us into stroking the bird's tail, which allows us, as this right hand comes around and the left hand comes here, to empty out, go into your L stance, and circle through 2 times, hold it, circle back, lift up the left, push on through 1 time, and we're going to do it on that second time. We're going to just transition 1, 2, pop, push, we'll do it again through. Last time, other side, transition, L stance, circle, lift up that right, push on through. We got that stroking the bird's tail down, right? There you go. And it's gonna take us into syncing with the chi. Let's do one more time. Sync. Just for that transition. Excellent job. Hopefully you enjoyed. Bring it back.